Imagine a plan so subtle, you barely notice it. A strategy that infiltrates the very fabric of society without raising alarms. This plan doesn't rely on weapons or soldiers, but on ideas and beliefs, slowly altering the way people think and perceive the world around them. Yuri Bezmenov, a former Soviet insider, warned of this. A slow, quiet war for the mind called ideological subversion. He revealed how this method could be more effective than any traditional warfare. The goal? To change how people see reality, until truth and lies blur together. This confusion makes it difficult for people to discern what is real and what is fabricated. Even when shown facts, people reject them. Their thinking has been reshaped. This manipulation leads to a society where objective truth is questioned and often dismissed. This isn't a quick attack, but a decades-long strategy to weaken a nation from within. Over time, the cumulative effect of these changes can be profound and irreversible. Bezmenov described 4 stages: demoralization, destabilization, crisis, and normalization. Each stage is meticulously planned and executed to ensure maximum impact. Each stage builds on the last, leading to a total transformation of society. The changes are so gradual that they often go unnoticed until it's too late. Demoralization, the first and longest stage, targets a whole generation's beliefs. It aims to erode the moral fabric and foundational values of society. The next stages move quickly, pushing society toward radical change. Destabilization, crisis, and normalization follow, each accelerating the breakdown of societal structures. Understanding these steps is like having a map to see how freedom can be lost. Recognizing the signs early can help in taking steps to counteract these influences. Let's walk through each stage and learn how to defend against this hidden war. By being aware and informed, we can protect our society from these subtle yet powerful threats. Demoralization is the patient erosion of a nation's core values. It doesn't happen overnight, nor does it come with loud warnings. Instead, it quietly seeps into the fabric of society, often unnoticed at first, but with profound consequences over time. It's a slow poison, changing how a generation sees right and wrong. What was once considered common sense or shared belief becomes blurred, and the lines between truth and falsehood start to fade. The aim is confusion and division. People lose faith in what once united them. Families, friends, and neighbors begin to see each other as adversaries, and the sense of community starts to unravel. This stage takes 15-20 years, enough to re-educate a generation from kindergarten to university. The process is gradual, but its effects are lasting, as young minds are shaped by new narratives and perspectives. Patriotism and moral certainty are replaced with doubt and shame. The pride that once brought people together is eroded, leaving many feeling disconnected from their own heritage and unsure of their place in the world. Institutions that shape culture, schools, media, religion, are targeted. These pillars of society, once trusted to guide and inform, become battlegrounds for competing ideologies and conflicting messages. History is taught to inspire guilt, not pride. Media promotes division over unity. The stories we tell about ourselves are rewritten, and the news we consume often deepens the sense of separation. The result? A generation unanchored, open to new, radical values. With old certainties gone, many search for meaning in unfamiliar places, sometimes embracing extreme ideas in the hope of finding purpose. Once demoralized, people reject facts that challenge their new worldview. Even when confronted with evidence, they cling to beliefs that feel comfortable, shutting out anything that threatens their new sense of identity. Critical thinking is switched off, making society vulnerable to the next phase. When skepticism is replaced by cynicism and curiosity by apathy, it becomes easy for manipulation to take root. This is why demoralization is so effective and so dangerous. It undermines the very foundations of a free and resilient society, leaving people anxious and uncertain about the future. It leaves a population unable to defend itself from what comes next, setting the stage for even greater challenges ahead. Schools are the main battlefield in demoralization, shaping the minds of the next generation in ways that often go unnoticed by parents and the wider community. What happens inside these walls can have ripple effects for decades to come. The curriculum gradually shifts away from teaching practical skills and independent thought, and instead begins to emphasize ideology. This transformation is subtle, often hidden beneath the surface of lesson plans and textbooks, making it difficult for outsiders to detect. In this environment, facts and critical thinking are quietly replaced by dogma and groupthink. Students are encouraged to conform rather than question, and genuine debate is discouraged in favor of consensus. Teachers, often well-meaning and dedicated, become what some call useful idiots, spreading new ideas and narratives without fully realizing the larger agenda at play. Their trust in the system makes them unwitting participants in the shift. Students, in turn, absorb these beliefs and values, carrying them forward as they become future leaders, professionals, and influencers in society. The impact of their education extends far beyond the classroom. Traditional values, such as family, faith, and national pride, are increasingly downplayed, dismissed, or even mocked. The things that once united communities are now seen as outdated or irrelevant. History is rewritten to focus on shame and guilt, disconnecting young people from their cultural roots and shared heritage. This erasure of the past leaves them searching for meaning and identity. The result is a generation highly skilled in theory, but unprepared for the practical challenges of real life. Many struggle to adapt, feeling lost and uncertain about their place in the world. Lacking practical knowledge and resilience, they become easy targets for manipulation, whether by media, social trends, or political movements that promise simple answers. When crisis hits, this generation often finds itself without the skills or the will to resist, adapt, or rebuild. Their dependence on external guidance leaves them vulnerable. As trust in their own institutions erodes, they become more open to authoritarian solutions, seeking order and certainty in exchange for freedom and critical thought. The cycle continues, embedding the new ideology deeper with each passing generation, making it harder to break free from the patterns set in motion years before. Education, once a tool for empowerment and personal growth, is transformed into a powerful instrument of control, shaping not just what students know but how they think and who they become. Media is the megaphone of demoralization, shaping how millions see the world. News and social media amplify division, focusing on conflict and negativity. Stories that unite or inspire are ignored. Despair becomes the norm. Hollywood distracts with glamorized spy tales, making real subversion seem dull or unreal. Entertainment normalizes values that erode society, glorifying excess, mocking tradition. Family and faith are portrayed as outdated or oppressive. Repeated messages become common sense, shifting public opinion. Trust in traditional authority fades. Celebrities and influencers become new guides. The population is swayed by trends, not truth. Media and entertainment, once sources of information and inspiration, now drive the demoralization process. Society is primed for the next stage. After demoralization, destabilization shakes a nation's foundations. This phase is short, just 2 to 5 years, but deeply disruptive. The goal, make the country chaotic and ungovernable. Key targets are the economy, defense, and foreign relations. Radical ideas take hold, leading to strikes, shortages, and economic breakdown. People lose faith in government and crave strong leadership. Defense and police are undermined, portrayed as villains. Social unrest grows. Groups fight for power. Unity dissolves. The nation becomes a battleground of competing interests. Those educated in the new ideology now lead but can't govern effectively. The result, a power vacuum and a desperate, exhausted population. Destabilization sets the stage for a crisis. The country is ready for someone, anyone, to restore order. Crisis is the plan's third, most explosive stage. It lasts just weeks but shatters the old system. The crisis could be civil conflict, economic collapse, or a sudden power grab. Years of instability leave society too weak to resist. The population, desperate for safety, welcomes drastic change. New leaders, sometimes foreign-backed, step in as saviors. The media fans panic, making the situation seem hopeless. Old institutions collapse almost overnight. The crisis isn't random. It's the planned result of demoralization and destabilization. People confused and exhausted accept new authority. The door is open for the final stage, normalization. Normalization is the final ironic stage, where the abnormal becomes the new normal. An authoritarian regime takes over, promising stability. The new ideology becomes official doctrine. Dissent is crushed. Media turns into pure propaganda. Freedom vanishes. Useful idiots, the activists and intellectuals who help the change, are silenced or eliminated. The new regime fears their ability to criticize and undermine. Society is reprogrammed. The next generation forgets what freedom was. Truth is whatever the regime says it is. Critical thinking is erased. The nation is stable, but it's the stability of a prison. The ultimate goal, a conquered society that doesn't even realize it's been conquered. This is the endgame of ideological subversion. Useful idiots are the unwitting helpers of subversion. They're not traitors, but well-meaning citizens, professors, journalists, artists, who spread radical ideas. They believe they're fighting for justice but serve a foreign agenda. Their influence makes propaganda more effective than any outside agent could. When the new regime takes power, these idealists are discarded or silenced. Their role was to destabilize, not to build. Once disillusioned, they become threats to the new order. The revolution devours its own helpers. A harsh lesson in unintended consequences. The tragedy, they never realize the part they played until it's too late. Despite the darkness, Bezmenov offered hope and a way to resist. The first defense is awareness. Recognize the threat and understand its methods. Knowledge of the 4 stages is a mental vaccine against propaganda. Reconnect with core values, family, patriotism, and shared history. Strengthen the family unit and foster healthy national pride. Return to moral absolutes, right and wrong, not endless relativism. Faith and a strong moral compass anchor society against manipulation. Real change starts with individuals, not politicians. Teach real history, practical skills, and critical thinking to the next generation. Reject junk information. Live by the principles that support freedom. Bezmenov's call. Wake up, stand firm, and defend the values that keep society free.